Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Luke and I do perfume reviews. Here on this channel I talk about vintage, designer and affordable fragrances as well as some niche here and there. But in today's video I'll be reviewing a classic drugstore fragrance, Revlon Ciara. This is the EDP, the 100% strength. I'll talk you through the history of this fragrance, the notes, the accords, the performance and everything you need to know about this fragrance. I have several other perfume reviews and perfume videos on my channel. Do check them out if you're new to my channel. And before we get into it, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below. Thank you so much. It really helps my channel. Now, let's talk about Ciara. Ciara was released in 1973. The nose behind it was Harry Cutler. I've never heard of this perfumer and he has no other fragrances in the database, but he is credited as the perfumer behind this fragrance. Ciara is a very 70s fragrance. It's classified as an oriental, but it's also quite fresh, citrusy and aldehydic in the opening. So it's got that typical 1970s style aldehydic opening that also fragrances like White Linen by Estee Lauder have. But once that opening goes away, this becomes a powdery oriental. It's slightly sweet, incensey, balsamic, very comforting and very nice. Some people find this too strong, too overpowering, but on my skin this really smells absolutely stunning. Ciara is ambery, balsamic, sweet, woody, smoky, also a bit leathery and very powdery and vanillic. It's sweet, it's powdery, slightly animalic. I detect some citrus in the opening, but the dry down is all about the opoponax and the incense. And when this dries down, this fragrance to my nose smells exactly like incense sticks and raspberry. It has that hint of raspberry that sweetens it up just a little and prevents it from being too dry and woody. When you first spray this on, it's soapy and slightly aldehydic, but once the aldehydes, which are not listed in the nose by the way, but I can definitely smell the aldehydes. Once the aldehydes go away, this becomes a powdery balsamic scent. I don't really care for leather in my fragrances, and I'm happy to report that I can't smell any leather in Ciara. Maybe just, a hint of something animalic, but I can't really smell the leather. I do smell the incense though. If you don't like incense, then stay away from this fragrance because it's very heavy on the opoponax and the incense. There's also some vanilla musk and cedar in the base. Vanilla gives it a nice sweetness, and unlike other classic orientals, Ciara is not particularly spicy or particularly floral. It's all about the sweet incense, smouldering resins, and vanilla with an animalic twist. It's a timeless classic, very sophisticated, undeniably old-fashioned, but really lovely. It's warm, comforting, cocoony, cold weather appropriate for sure, but it's really soft and easy to wear in my opinion. Some people disagree with me. And the lady who gave me this fragrance, because she absolutely hated it, she said it was way too strong for her, but I tried it. It reminded me of Lulu from Cacharel, which is also kind of a powdery, floral, vanilla incense fragrance. Ciara reminded me of Lulu, even though it's not the same scent profile. It's quite a different fragrance. But if you like Lulu and if you like an overdose of incense in your fragrances, you may well enjoy this. So give this a try. It's only like €10, £pounds. It's very affordable. You can buy different concentrations. The one I have is the 100% concentration EDP, but you can also get the Eau de Cologne in 80% and 100% strength, I believe. And there was also a 200% strength, which is not available anymore. You'll have to buy it on eBay. But the 80 and 100 are still available. You can find them online. And I really think that this fragrance is very underrated. It's a hidden gem for someone who loves vintage style fragrances, for someone who loves incensey, balsamic scents. And given that this is such a cheap fragrance, the quality is absolutely outstanding. For a drugstore fragrance, for a vintage drugstore fragrance that has been reformulated probably several times, This is excellent. The quality is amazing. The performance is excellent. It's very strong, good sillage, good longevity. It's potent, it lasts, it packs a punch. So spray with a very light hand. I only need about 3 sprays of this one because it's so strong and it lasts all day on me. Now let me tell you some more about the history of this fragrance, because as I'm filming, I'm also doing research online. And apparently, when this fragrance came out, it was advertised as the thoroughly female fragrance by Charles Revlon, which is so ironic because this couldn't be more androgynous and unisex by today's standards, because it's a dry, woody, incensey fragrance with just a little bit of sweetness. Hardly feminine at all by today's standards, of course, but back in the day, I'm talking in the 60s, even in the 50s and then 70s, fragrances were genderless. But let's return to the history of this fragrance. I want to talk about the launch of this fragrance. Investor's Reader, Volume 60 in 1973 wrote, Ciara will debut late this month at Bon Mid Teller and be in full distribution by Christmas. The name is invented and the scent hints of jasmine and tuberose. The bottles will carry no brand, but will simply say Ciara by Charles Revlon to capitalize on the famous chairman-founder of Revlon, a $45 an ounce for the perfume and $10 for spray cologne. Ciara will be priced at the same level as Norel, the expensive fragrance Revlon introduced 5 years ago. And then in 1974, Playbill wrote that if you want the fragrance to last all day, ask for the 100 strength. Even though Ciara is not as popular as it used to be back in the 70s and 80s, it's still quite popular because it's still in production. And someone on Fragrantica actually wrote that they can't believe that such an amazing quality fragrance only costs about $10, and that they think that Revlon isn't making any profit from this fragrance. And before we end this review, I have another historical tidbit for you. The name Ciara comes from the Irish male name Ciaran, which means little dark one. The name fits perfectly with a very Irish environment, as it was New York in the 60s, when and where Ciara was launched. So someone wrote this on Fragrantica. It was actually launched in the 70s, but it's another useful insight, another piece of the puzzle to understanding this fragrance. So that's my review of Ciara from Revlon. I hope I did it justice. Please let me know in the comments if you have this fragrance. Do you like it? Do you struggle with it? Let me know. I love reading your comments. I always reply. And if you haven't smelled Ciara, can you please let me know if you have any other incense fragrances? I'm really on an incense kick at the moment. I've been wearing Opium a lot. Opium has myrrh and opopanax. I've been wearing Ciara, but I don't really have any other incense fragrances. And I really love smelling incense at the moment. I also have my own incense sticks that I burn from time to time. They're made from Palo Santo, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a very long outro. I'll stop talking. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in one of my next videos. Bye.